part 3. There it is, of our vMix Go major update. All the old stuff is going out today and new stuff is going in. We'll be right back with that show after this brief interlude. I think I have a brief interlude. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. All right. We got it. Boy, if it wasn't for last minute, nothing would get done. Otis, Can. Love you guys. Glad you're here. Thanks for watching. It is 14 till. Yep, 13 minutes, 37 seconds. I can see it right there. And we're in part 3 today of our vMix Go upgrade. It's going to be an upgrade. It's more than just an update. And I was playing with some different screenshots that we'll use during the show. And since I don't have, control over there, I'm going to use control here. And I think I'm going to use my full screen output as the output. That way. Oh, maybe I'll do a multi-view. That's what I'll do. I'll do a multi-view. And at least I have an opportunity to see, because I've got some shortcuts here. Just a few. I mean, I've got a lot more, but only these are on the web controller. You ought to have the option for more than one web controller. I think I'll make that. All right, so we've got this shot. That's A. We've got that shot. That's B. That's above head. We've got this shot, D. That's a side shot. Then, of course, there's this shot, which is me, which we probably won't use. But I'll use if I have to come back to this position. And then we've got kind of a smorgasbord that includes you guys. So there we go. I need to make that a little, can I see that over there? Not really. Let's make that a little bit bigger. So we'll take a second and we'll find that combination shot and we'll go in and we'll edit browser just a little bit. There we go. Is that good? I already know all that top stuff. So we'll see. That's pretty good. And I can, for the most part, see everything I need to see there. Yeah, good. All right. So California on the west coast, Texas on the southern border. I'm on the Gulf Coast, and if Dave were here, we'd have the East Coast. Volume's a little bit low. Okay, good. Thank you. Let's see. Are we using any gain on anything there? No. Are we using any gain on anything there? No. Device volume is 100%. And 50 milliseconds of delay. Let's put just a fraction, 2 decibels of gain on that and see how that does, Otis. And I'm wondering, maybe I need to move position here. Let's just move this guy down just a little bit and twist him just a little bit that way. Does that help? No, probably not. Let's put him back up here. Snap. Put him right above the button. I really do like this mic. There we go. That might work. That might work. What do you think? Is it still a little low, Otis? I remember meeting Otis in person out in Las Vegas at NAB. What was that, Otis? 2016, 2017, something like that. There's Dave. So now we got the East Coast, the West Coast, the southern border, and the Gulf Coast all together. It's good now. Thank you, Otis. Appreciate that. 2018 it was. Can you believe that's been 6 years? Holy cow. Holy cow. Dave, hope everything's going well for you. Hope you're getting settled in. Dave moved from Ken's, California to North Carolina. And I'm hoping you guys are doing okay in North Carolina. I've got, let's switch back to this one, shall we? There we go. I've got kids in the path of Hurricane Milton, which I'm not real thrilled about. One in St. Pete, Tampa, and one on the East Coast, Melbourne, both of which are right in the storm path. Dave is doing very well. Good. So the storm didn't approach you. Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So I've got my oldest and his family, wife and 2 boys, hunkered down in St. Pete, you know, just waiting. And my middle son on the East Coast of Florida in Melbourne with his father-in-law, his mother-in-law, his wife's sister, their dog, and their rabbit, along with he and his wife and their child, my newest grandchild, a daughter, and their, what do they call those things? Sugar gliders. They have 2 sugar gliders, kind of like flying squirrels. So it's a party. It's probably not much of a party, but yeah. Thank you, Otis. We are praying for their safety indeed. Indeed. I kind of had was it last night or this morning? I don't remember which, probably both. I just had, sometimes I get a little nudge on how to pray. And my prayer was for the Lord to just sit down on that storm. Just sit on it, just squash it. So we'll see. The wind speeds have been dropping, but we expected that. But I'd like to see them drop a lot more. Excuse me, goodness. All right, what kind of time we got left here? We've got 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm happy with. Let's see, and what is this right here? All right, so let's catch up to date. North Carolina, where he is doing very well. Dave moved from California to North Carolina to look after his parents. Boy, that's a big +1 on the macho man scale, I think, Dave. Well done, sir. My baby brother moved to Virginia, to where my parents lived, but I think it was because of a woman. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And he married that woman. So there, yeah, we're going good. All right, see. Yeah, we've got a 1, 2, 3 camera table setup today. And we have previously built an i7 system. We just built the motherboard and the CPU and the RAM and the video card and a terabyte M.2 NVMe card with I got to turn this thing down. Holy cow, it's just driving me nuts. Can we do that? Got a new phone. I switched over from Android to iPhone, not because I really wanted to for myself, but because everybody else in the family has got have got iPhones, and every time they send me a picture, it's all degraded. And same with video. So it's like, if I want to see videos of my grandkids, I'm going to have to make a change because they're not going to make a change. Anderson's here where it's sunny and hot. And I'm trying to remember where Barbados is. I don't think you guys are anywhere close to this storm. This storm is not really going to affect the Caribbean. And are you late? Well, it depends on when you intended to get here. I'm late, but the show doesn't start for another 5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 35 seconds. So we'll see. Yeah. Let's see, let's find this other screen here. We're doing good there. All right. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Ken has actually got an unbranded version, sort of the vMix Go, which is probably yours is probably a couple of years older than this one. but this one is different because it doesn't have the fold-down keyboard. And I guess that's probably the biggest difference. Physically, it's about the same size, but it just it assumes you're not going to smash the keyboard. Yeah. All right. So, and Ken, I think you upgraded some of yours too. Did you ever upgrade the power supply? I think they came with a 600 watt power supply, and it's sort of a server size power supply, long and skinny. And I'm thinking that I should do that for this one. So yeah, I've got some of those. And we build them from time to time when people are interested. I mean, I bought the empty case and basically filled it up. It doesn't take the server style power supply. So yeah. Aziz, welcome. Did an update for vMix today. Wasn't able to update at the beginning. Had to change the where it should be installed on. Then it worked. Strange. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Jesper. Glad to have you. He did upgrade the power supply. Good. Good. I was concerned. I think at one point you said you weren't going to do that, and I'm glad you decided to, because a 12-year-old power supply. I'm going to move this mic. Yeah, I don't think it's working right. Oh, you know what? We can do it like this. It's got the little magnet thing. So let's put it here. And it's hard to do with a mirror because it's all backwards. Let's see if that will work. Maybe. The power supply on this guy is probably, well, I think it's a 2012 model, so that makes it 12 years old. And a 12-year-old power supply is not to be trusted. Not to be trusted. Okay. Oh, we need to do something with the temperature here. With all these lights on, it's going to go crazy. And yeah, Ken, if you need any piece parts for yours, I've got a couple of those left over, and I probably ought to build one out and and make it available for folks. Nice shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Sandy picks out my clothes. And I pick out what I do pick out what I'm going to wear. I don't let her dress me for the day. Ooh, what is Otis doing? Otis will be upgrading his ecosystem to 4K with a P620. What's a P620? A Blackmagic Decklink 4K, an O-Ray 4K, and HD base T, probably more to it than what fit in the blank. What is a P620? P620. Come on, Otis, don't leave me hanging. A P620. Should I know what that is? I don't know what that is. I could Google it, but it's time for the show. Oh, there you go. It's a Lenovo workstation. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I think we win the lottery by continuing to work. All right, let's start the show. You ready? There's a button for that. And that button is, let's see. Hold on, I've got it here somewhere. Okay, I think it's all set. This is the button. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You see my eyes cutting all over the place because I've got all these different things I can look at. It's so much fun being in the studio. I tell you what else is fun is not being a glasses wearer anymore. Let me sit up just a little bit. I guess it was last year or maybe the year before, I noticed I was having fog in my eyeballs, which is cataracts. At my young age, cataracts. And so they took out the old lenses and they put in new lenses. And they said, hey, while we're taking out the old lenses, would you like us to adjust your vision so you can see? And I said, are you kidding me? Yeah, man, let's do it. So they did. And I can see. And I don't have to fight glare in my glasses anymore. I did notice last night on the vMix Fun Time live show that Heath, who wears glasses, looked really good on the show. And he commented on that later, and they're using some soft boxes kind of off to the side. Tim, who was in New York to go to NAB New York, was wearing glasses, and he was coming from his hotel room, so you could sort of see his computer screen in front of him. No soft boxes for Tim, no sir. So today we're going to continue with our series. This is part 3 of our series on updating our vMix Go. We got this vMix Go off of eBay. It was selling for, they were asking $4,000. And they had already taken out the AJA card, which is, $2,600 right there. They had taken out the GPU, which was I think a 950 Ti, so not a lot of value in that. And they had taken out the one of the drives and also the removable hot swap drives. So they took a lot of value away from it. And I was thinking $4,000. And I wrote the guy a note and I said, the only person that would buy this is somebody that wants a collector piece because all the good parts are gone. And he wrote me back and he said, make me an offer. I was like, oh, well, So I offered him $1,000 and it showed up 5 days later. So let's put some time and energy into it. And yeah, and let me show you what I'm doing today because I want to be able to switch cameras, but I'm not doing the setup from this side. I'm going to go over to that side. So I've got a bunch of shortcuts. Can I get in the, I think I probably got it to focus right here and fix focus. Anyway, I've got 5 shortcuts that I'm going to use that are going to show the different camera positions. So I've got this one, which is sort of a side shot. I've got this one, which is the overhead shot. I've got that one, which is another side shot. I just threw this camera up today. And then I've got this, which is sort of a smorgasbord of all of them. So as we go to we'll use a smorgasbord and I'll wander over to the other side. And then we can switch up. Oh, and I've also got a multi-view on the big screen TV there so that I can see what's going on. And yeah, so excuse the mess. Let's get into the shot here. And let's go ahead and go. What shot are we going to go to with? Let's go to the side shot. This is the new shot I think I put up today. Is that one right there? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we can see this is an Asus Tough Gaming B560M Plus that also has Wi-Fi that I got pre-owned off of eBay. The CPU I had hanging around, and I probably I shouldn't use this cooler, but I just had the cooler for now. We'll come up with a better cooler later. And I've got an i7 here that was on the shelf, and you know, it was I think it's a 10th generation an i9, and so it's something that I wouldn't use in a new build. So I thought I'd throw it in here. I am using a brand new RTX 4060 low profile. Now, in fact, that's probably the first thing we ought to do is go ahead and put the low profile bracket on here, because it's not going to fit in there regardless. So let's find a screwdriver and let's see if we can take this plate off and put the right one on. Don't want to lose those little screws. I like this little card, the 4060. It's got 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports. And the way the vMix Go is set up, the built-in monitor uses DisplayPort, but I think it actually can also use HDMI. You have to adapt the cable, but yeah, okay, so that guy's getting ready to fall off there. There we go, off he comes. And let's reach over here to this box. And this is where we got all the spare parts. Not a lot of spare parts at this moment, but we will have. So that's going to fit on there just like that. Yeah. So let's get a screw. And we'll use this top screw right here. Go ahead and get it seated in there. And then we can set it in there, get the thread started. And that looks like about the right spot. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's a different screw. That must have come out of the side, because that's a different hole right there. Whoops. Should have been paying attention to that instead of yakking. I communicated with vMix that I had this and that I was going to rebuild it, and they were kind of concerned about the graphics card. You know, they're like, you know, what are you going to do for a graphics card? You're not going to find one these days that'll fit in there. And had it not been for this 4060 low profile, I would have had to gone back in time to some older low profile cards to do it. Yeah. Okay. And at some point we'll probably put a capture card in here and maybe an output card. I've got an X16 slot and an X1 slot. So we'll see. Okay, so that's good there. And let's change camera views for just a second. And we'll go to this shot. No, that's not the shot I want. Let's take that shot. There we go. All right, so let's set this aside for just a sec. And we'll bring this guy in. Yeah. And we can see that we've got a lot. Hold on. Let's shuffle some stuff around a little bit. There we go. We've got a lot to do to get down to that motherboard. So let's start at the beginning. We know this brace has to come out, which means this fan has to come out and this SSD has to come out. So what we need is a screw holder. Let me get a little screw holder. I'll be right back. I got these neat ones. They're magnetic screw holders. And so they'll clamp onto anything, and that's what they're intended as. Like if you're working on your car or your motorcycle or something, they've got a little magnetic base. But they're also perfect because you can drop a screw in them and the screw doesn't go anywhere. So you don't lose your screws, unless, of course, you're not careful with them. So we got two black ones here on this side of the CD. And then, I guess, two silver ones here. Is that what we're going to take? One silver one there. And one silver one there. And let's see if we can pull this out. And we've got some hot glue on the power connector, but the SATA connector does not appear to be glued. So let's go ahead and get that. It's got a little glue on it. And we'll see if we can squeeze out the power connector. Come on, baby. This looks like a knuckle cruncher, you know? There we go. All right, so we'll put that in the spare parts box. And let's go ahead and just take off this extra SATA cable. There were two down here, and this is the one for the drive that got removed. And we'll take this one out. So we've got fewer to worry about. And we'll let that come over there. Now let's come back and get this fan out. At some point, I want to see what the rationale. Do I need a bigger screwdriver? I do. I want to see what the rationale is for the way the fans are set up, so far as, is that an exhaust fan, or is it a, what would you call it if it's not intake? There we go, an intake fan. And the way the blades are set up, well, we'll have to see. I think the way the blades are set up, it's, well, which would it be? Hopefully it has an arrow on it. That's always the giveaway. I think it's an intake. And then whatever it is, we don't want it to fight against the CPU cooler fan. Okay, so we'll get this guy. He's already disconnected. So we'll put him in our spare parts box. And now we've got power here to disconnect, power here to disconnect. Most of the rest of these powers are disconnected. And then we've got audio over here, and what's, I guess it's USB. No, that's a fan here, and then the on-off switch. And then that's another fan there. That is the, oh, it's got two fans. Yeah, because we got two little fans back here. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull these out. That is, this motherboard that we're pulling out. Oh, and let's take this brace out. The motherboard that we're pulling out is also an Asus. It is a Z97. So it's been out there for a while. It's called the Gryphon, Gryphone. And, you know, in its day, it was a powerhouse because it's got 3 X16 slots and 1 X1 slot. It does not have a M.2 SSD slot. I don't think those were very popular or inexpensive or whatever way back when. All right, so we got that out. We'll put that in our spare parts container. We're getting down there. We're getting to it. So let's take out this power. Yep, that's out. We'll take out this power over there. Can we get it? We're gonna have to pull some wires out. Well, let's see. We got that one undone. That's USB. We can get that one undone. That's the rear fan. We can get that one undone. And this is the case controls. So this would be the on-off switch, the recycle or the restart switch, and the disk drive light. Okay, got those undone. Yeah. And then we can do the one of the two rear fans. And isn't this boring as all get out? The other of the two rear fans. Yep. And the only other thing besides screws that's connecting the motherboard is this 8-pin CPU power. So let's see if we can get our fingers in behind it by moving these power wires one by one. And because it's got a little clip on it that we have to unclip in order to get this guy out. We've got 6 of them. There are 2 more. Come on, baby. Come over. That's it. That's all you need to do right there. Now let's see if we can get enough pressure on it to pull the little locks in. Nope, not that way. Let's try with the strong hand. Nope. Let's try with the pliers. Those aren't wide enough. Well, I guess that is a split. So it's 2 4s, so we can get out one of them. Use that to push it in, and then we can pull it out, maybe. There we go, we got one of them. Screwdriver. I mean, the pliers are not much help. There we go. Now we got the other one. So there does not appear to be anything that is connecting this motherboard to the case except for a bunch of screws. So let's see if we can whiz those out here. And these we definitely want to hang on to because we'll have to use them again. Although, I guess the new motherboard, well, I don't know if the new motherboard came with screws or not, because it was quote-unquote pre-owned. It doesn't look like it had been used very much. I mean, it was in pristine condition. No scratches, no witness marks from, you know, people moving things off and on it. So, and I guess while we're here, while we've got the motherboard out, would be the best time to change out the power supply. Oh, I want to show you something. Let me get these 2 screws out, and I'll show you the RAM that was used in this system. And remember, vMix has always been a big fan of 16 gigabytes of RAM. And so here's the RAM board that they used. And that's, you know, that's 8 on that side. It's Kingston RAM, made in China, warranty void if removed. Well, I'm not going to remove it. And this is, yeah, does it have a date code on it anywhere? No, it doesn't appear to. So we'll put that in the parts box. Pull out the other RAM. Put that in the parts box. I guess we really didn't have to do that. Let's see if the board will come out. We do need to disconnect the display port connection, because that's how the case got its signal. And then for the first time in 12 years, supposedly, the motherboard comes out. Ta-da! There it is. In all its i7, what was it, 4770? 4770, the ultimate force. Dun-dun-dun-dun. So it looks like a good little board. We'll keep it. We might use it for another project. Or if somebody in the Caribbean makes us an offer we can't refuse, we might use it for that. You can see the the outputs on it were DVI, boy, that ages it right there, DisplayPort, HDMI, and then 4 USB 3s and 4 USB 2s. And yeah, so it was probably a pretty powerful board in its day. Yep. Okay. So let's set that aside for a second. And we've got all these power cables. Are they attached to anything? Are they just bent up and loosely? I know at least one of them needs to be attached to the screen. And that's probably this Molex connector right here. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, it's I don't know what they're attached to, but they are. We'll see. Let's go ahead and pull them apart. Come on, baby. Come to Papa. There we go. All right, so that, I think that powers the screen. And then this one, not sure what that powers. What do we have right there? Oh, don't know. Don't know what that is. So it's probably, it's got USB coming to it, and then it's got another cable going away from it. Probably the controls for the, what do you call it? The monitor. Is that going to come out right there with the wiggle? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so essentially all the power supply wiring right now is disconnected, except, well, yeah, okay, yeah, huh, all right. Well, let's see. How else is this little guy held in there? Got a screw here, and then I've got 1, 2 screws there, so it doesn't look like much. Let's take the 2 screws out the other end first. So that's going to be down here. And up there. The fan is built into the power supply, as is the connection for the power cable. And then we've got 2 here, 1 down low. Let's see if we can get them with this screwdriver from this angle. Yep. That's 1. And I'm thinking this is the last one. Feels like it. But the bracket kind of keeps it from coming back. Are there screws to let the bracket loose? No. There is, but it's behind this panel. Yeah, let's see. How badly do we want to do all this? I think we want to do it. Okay, so we've got to take this piece of cladding off. This is getting this is getting a little deeper than I intended. So we may not have time to put this whole thing back together today. But let's at least get the power supply out. So there's a little plug here that we're going to take out and drop on the floor. And yeah, I see it. So I'll go back and get it. And underneath that is a screw, and there's a plug here. There we go. Put that in with the screws. And then there's a plug missing there, so we're saved on that one. And then one that came out easily there. And then some, this is a latch, I guess, to adjust the angle of the monitor. And let's see if we can get these guys out quickly. 1, to, and Ken, if you're still watching, you know, these are the same pads. I think this is made by the same company that made yours. Acme Portable, I think is what they are. They're out in California. And I think they are still making one for vMix called the Production Bot, as I recall. Getting close. The beauty of these systems is that, whoa, that'll catch your attention. There we go. And those are the two screws right there that we're looking for. We'll keep those close because we may want to put those back in. I don't know if this bracket is part of the motherboard or not. I mean, part of the power supply or not. But they did allow us to remove the power supply. Woohoo! All right. And this is a CompuWare switching power supply. That's good. 600 watt at 100 to 140 volts, which is, we'll be running it at 120, 130. Or if you're running it at 180 to 240 volts, it's 680 watts. But, you know, we're not going to be doing that. So let's pull this out. And I wonder if this guy, oh, we got wires crossed here. I wonder if this guy has any salvage value. You know, I guess for somebody that doesn't have a server power supply and wants one, to keep warranty, please do not remove. The label, I'm sure, is what it means. All right, so let's set that aside for a second. And let's go ahead and just put this bracket back in. Well, let's see what we got on the shelf with, so far as power supplies are concerned. Come with me. You have to come with me audibly, because I can't bring you with me video-wise, because I'm not prepared for it. So I've got a big box in here that says it has two 600 watt power supplies in it. And let's see what it has. Is it, it's been opened by me, no doubt. And it's got padding and a power cable and a bunch of stuff wrapped in bubble wrap. So let's get that out of the way. And this looks promising. It's nice to have the right tools, the right parts on hand. Let me get this off. And this is a Surefire brand. Surefire. Oh, no, excuse me, SureStar. Surefire would make good sense too, though. 600 watt, 80 plus bronze. And it's never been used, but does it say the year it was built? The year it was made? No, doesn't say. It says made in Taiwan. That's always nice. Like to support our friends in Taiwan, although I probably purchased this 3 or 4 years ago for a different project. And we've got wads of cables here. And let's see what we need. We'll have to compare it to the old power supply and make sure we've got everything we need before we go to all the trouble to install it and find out, whoops, it doesn't have a XYZ. So let's shift this back a little bit. And we'll get this guy over here. And we'll put this guy down next to him. In fact, let's do it like that. So we know we need the main connector. So we got that right there. That's the main power connector. We're good there. This looks like a CPU connector. Nope, that's a video card. So we'll hold off on that one. That's SATA. What do we have here? Is that a Molex? Yep, there's Molex. So let's just get these all separated and then we'll compare to what we need. All right, so what do we have? We need a SATA connector. We've got that. We need the full connector. We've got that. We need a CPU connector. All right, so we've got that there. We need a Molex. And we have some unused ones here, which look like peripherals. They're only 6-pin. And then we've got that crazy little guy right there. And one of the, yeah. All right, so let's see what we can do with all that. And make sure we got what we need here. So there's Molex. There's more Molex. There's SATA. So we've got plenty of those. And we've got the main motherboard power connector. And then we've got this, which appears to be, no, that looks like it's CPU motherboard power with the extra one. So what we don't have is video power, which would be, let's just pull this card out of the motherboard for a second, which would be that little guy right there. So we're going to have to get a converter for either the SATA or the Molex to run this card. I mean, that might fit, but that's not what we want it to. Yeah, that doesn't even fit. That would just be for the CPU. For the motherboard, let's try it on the motherboard. Yep, no problem, fits right in. And that would just be an extra, if our motherboard had, if it needed the extra power for overclocking, which we're not going to overclock this rascal. Okay, so we've got to go find a connection. Got to find a connection. Oh, and it's got this little guy too. So we're all good except for the power. I think that's why they used the 950, because, and look at this, it's already got the bracket on it, so we didn't have to worry about a bracket. It's already got the 950, had the 950 in it, but the 950 didn't require power. So there we go. All right, so we've got our work cut out for us to get some power to this card. And we probably ought to make sure we can do that before we go any further with this project, or we may have to source a 950. So yeah. So, okay, so let's go here, and we'll come back to the desk and see what you guys had to say. And then we'll wrap up this show and try to source some parts for next week. And so, yeah. So interesting. You just never know. You just never know. What i9 was it? I think it was a 10900 KF. That's my recollection. That's my recollection. Yeah, let's wrap up the show. We'll look at your comments in the post show. And yeah, and that's got to be fun. Got to be fun. Don't you think it has to be fun? I think it has to be fun. Let's try it. Okay, so yeah, I think it's a 10900 KF i9, but it is the 1151, LGA 1151. so it couldn't take any of the more modern motherboards because the pins don't fit. I think the ones we're building now are LGA 1700s. Before that were the LGA 1200s. Well, this may be a 1200. That's probably what it is. It's a 1200. It's not an 1151. But yeah. Hello, Bill. Glad to have you. Well, I don't know if the hink fits. And Gunner's here. Welcome, sir. It's sort of unboxing, but it's what would you call it? Demo? Unburdening? Yeah, we're taking all the old gear off the system to see if it'll work. See if it'll work. So we've got some power problems to solve, and then we can begin to put things back together. This is going to be fun. I can't wait to have this. I think this is going to be my travel system. It's not the convenience of a laptop, but it's the power of a desktop. So it might be worth a little extra effort in moving it around. Anyway, got to run. Loved having you guys here. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next week. I'll be here. I hope you will be. Oh, and by the way, we're using the mahogany. Yeah, mahogany's cool. I like that.